I'm videotaping my audience now.
Okay.
A couple months ago, Los Angeles Angels pitcher Tyler Skaggs was found dead in his Texas hotel room hours before their game against the Texas Rangers. It was recently reported by the LA Times that his cause of death was fentanyl and oxycodone intoxication with terminal aspiration of gastric contents, which means that Tyler Skaggs choked on his own vomit while sleeping. As we all know, opioid and drug addiction is one of the leading causes of overdose deaths in America. We, the people of this country, should be aware and should be informed on how to avoid the opioid crisis and how we can help the victims of opioid and drug addiction. Today I'll be talking about opioid addiction as a disease, the difference between opioid addiction and opioid abuse, and understanding how to help the victims of opioid and drug addiction. As I go through my speech today, I would like everyone to understand that opioid and drug addiction is a disease and should be treated the same way as any chronic condition. Opioid and drug addiction could easily be mistaken as a crisis, but in reality, it is a disease that requires the same amount of compassion that we give to people that are sick and injured. In the article published in 2003, Drug Addiction in America, Challenges and Opportunities, written by the author Coop C.E., he states, drug addiction is a disease, and we are fighting the disease that causes the problem, not the victims. Taking care of the victims of opioid and drug addiction is easy, but taking care of the cause of it is a whole different ballgame. And that is where we need to focus our attention to. Because if we solve the cause of the addiction, such as joblessness, hopelessness, and despair, it will give the victims of opioid and drug addiction a better chance of recovering from it. The second thing I want to talk about is the difference between opioid and drug addiction, and opioid abuse and opioid addiction. Opioid and drug addiction, opioid abuse and opioid addiction are totally different and should not be treated the same way. In the book Clean, written by David Sheff in 2013, he quoted Steve Shopton, who defines drug abuse as a pattern of use in the last 12 months that causes clinical distress. This means that people who abuse will go on a binge of abusing their opioids and drugs to get high or blow off some steam. And to contrary, people who are addicted to opioids needs to take their medications to be able to function. In the same book, the author David Sheff mentions that people who are addicted will develop a high tolerance to their opioids, that they often take more, use different types of drugs, or change the way they take their opioids. This means that people who are addicted will take their opioids like it's candy, and they will make sure to get more of it every time. Now that we know the difference between opioid abuse and opioid addiction, I want to inform everyone on how we can help the victims of opioid and drug addiction. In the article written by Meryl Gusner, America's Pain, that was written by Meryl Gusner in 2016, she noted that we have a serious problem of poorly treated depression, schizophrenia, and bipolar disorder, which leads to self-medication, substance abuse, and opioid addiction. To provide proper treatment to the victims of opioid and drug addiction, the focus on their treatment should be the cause of the addiction. Providing jobs, shelters, counseling, and treatments will increase the chances of the victims to recover fully. Because as I mentioned earlier, Addiction does not start because someone is presented with an opioid or a drug. It started because a person was not given proper treatment for their pain, mental health disorder, depression, or they had a life-changing event. A holistic approach to treat addiction is the way to go, because focusing on the patient's social, mental, and physical condition will help ensure that it will ensure that patients will have a better chance of recovering from it. Opioid and drug addiction is a real crisis here in America that needs to be addressed. It is a crisis that affects each and every one of us, one way or the other. I want to shed a light on it because helping the victims of addictions and solving the cause of it will help ensure that future generations of this country will have a better and safer community. It may be a long way before this opioid crisis is under control. But I hope that all of the information I provided here today will help everyone understand that the victims of opioid and drug addiction needs our help. Thank you.